Hey guys, this is Jimmy, and I'll welcome you back to another video for you guys today. Now, this is going to be my thoughts concerning about the latest announcement involving AEW introducing a new championship belt, which, as you could read at the title of the screen, that turns out to be the TBS Championship. Now, this is a belt that's been introduced this past week's Dynamite. The belt will be defended solely for the women's division, sort of like a mid-card equivalent to the TNT title that's defended in the men's division. So the TBS title will be another championship belt that will be contested within the women's division. So they will have another title belt to fight for. So I thought I'd just come up on here and just kind of give out my opinion considering about the latest announcement. As you all know, AEW had recently announced that Dynamite will be moving over to TBS this coming January. So to coincide with the change in networks, so they had considered on creating a new customized title belt that had been announced for quite some time, but finally it's coming to fruition, and we got to see the introduction of the designing of the TBS title belt. When I first heard about the new championship belt, I was kind of skeptical and just thinking about all the other championship belts that they could have created, because there have been speculations that we could have gotten a trios tag title belt. I mean, given the bloated roster that AEW has at the moment, if there's one thing that AEW excels, it's the tag team division. And with one set of tag title belts, you would think, how about capitalizing on that success by introducing a trios tag title belt, which hasn't been done here in North America, but has been very popular, especially in Mexico and south of the border. You would think that maybe AEW would utilize this opportunity and make a groundbreaking announcement that that we could have gotten the trios tag title belt being Christian here in the States, but that actually was not the case here. And as far as the name of the title belts are concerned, it's a little uncreative. I mean, I thought the same thing when they introduced the TNT title belt. It's like, why do they call it these names for these championship belts? I mean, granted, these title belts are named after the Turner Network stations that are currently airing AEW shows. But why is it called the TNT title belt when you could have just come up with another creative, a more inspiring title name, like the television title or the United States title, the international title, so on and so forth. But they stuck to their gun with these network name title belts, and it's something that has just kind of had me scratching my head. Hopefully they don't go as far like what WWE's been doing with all these new title belts, and then they just half-ass these title reigns and just diluting their championship divisions. I mean, they have so many title belts. I mean, especially the US title, the Intercontinental, the tag team titles, like for both Raw and SmackDown, and 2 title belts for the women's division, which involve the Raw and SmackDown women's titles and the tag titles for the women's. I mean, it's just so bloated, and it's just not. It's just very crazy, to say the very least. But hopefully AEW doesn't go in that realm and just have too many title belts. But at the moment, I mean, they're definitely in good hands. I think they have like 4 title belts as of the time I'm recording this audio. The world title they have, the TNT, the tag team titles, and eventually we're going to get the TBS title belt by the time January rolls around. But it's definitely a good idea to, introduce a new title belt. So I know that women's division has been, especially in AEW, is just still trying to kind of find its footing. Lately, with the lack of TV time as far as some of the women wrestlers that are competing in some of their weekly television shows, and, especially with Rampage. I think this past Rampage had one, and then those matches ended pretty shortly. So hopefully they take notice of this and perhaps make some adjustments by giving them more TV time and showcase some of these new wrestlers in that division and with these new characters and really bring some spark and an identity to the division. But I mean, there's definitely room for improvement, especially with the women's division. As far as like who I think or who I would like to see win the TBS title, I think Ruby Soho would definitely be a top candidate. Having made her debut at All Out and winning that Casino Battle Royale, even had a title opportunity against Britt Baker for the women's title, but she came up short in the process. But hopefully she doesn't lose too much momentum, and I think the TBS title will definitely play a hand in keeping her relevant, but also really kind of finding her place in the women's division, not kind of be an afterthought. But she'd be my candidate as the TBS champion. Possibly Jade Cargill. I hope I pronounced her last name right. I was going to consider Thunder Rosa, but I think at some point they're going to have her climbing up the ranks enough where she doesn't need the TBS title to make a name for herself. Eventually down the road, we'll see a rematch between Rosa and Britt Baker for the women's title, so that would definitely be a blast. I mean, I definitely really enjoyed the no DQ match that she and Britt had earlier this year, so eventually down the road we're going to see a rematch, and it'll definitely be one for the ages. I think Thunder Rosa is at a point where she really doesn't need the TBS title, and just rather give it to someone that could really benefit from it. And like I said, like Ruby Soho would be my top candidate. And I know Britt Baker kind of joked about the idea of all these network title belts, like the Cartoon Network title, in a promo she did on Dynamite. So I thought that was pretty hilarious. I mean, could you imagine like Rick and Morty winning the Cartoon Network title? But I think they actually made a cameo in one of the Dynamite episodes, but that was a while back. But I know that's just kind of playing for jokes. I don't think they'll actually introduce a Cartoon Network title. So we'll see how all that kind of plays out within the coming months. So that's really my thoughts are concerning about the new championship belt introduced by AEW. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are considering about the TBS title belt in the comment section below. Thank you all guys for watching, and until next time, this is Jimmy signing out.